Hi, my name is Talia. I'm a staff member at Discovery, and I'm going to help you do your homework today. Okay, so in this question, you're asked to write some Python code to find the standard deviation of the number of hours studying each week for junior students. And in this question, we're given a data frame, and we're given a bunch of information about it, like there's a bunch of columns like school year, siblings, hours of sleep, stuff like that. But the only ones that we really care about are hours studying and school year, because those are the variables that indicated in the problem. And so let's think about our approach to this problem before we start writing stuff. We know that we're looking at hours studying only for junior students. So we need some way to isolate junior students from the rest of the data frame, because we don't want people that are like freshmen, sophomores, seniors affecting our result for the standard deviation. And there's one thing we learned in class that'll definitely do that for us, and that's row selection. We can select only the rows where the school year is juniors. So let's go ahead and start doing that. First, we have to import pandas. Sorry, this marker's kind of dying. Import pandas as PD. As always, so you can access our functions and all the stuff in the library we need for data frames. And second, we're going to go ahead and start doing row selection to only get the junior students out, right? So let's create a new data frame called something descriptive like DF Junior, so people can understand what this means. And we start out with our general format, right? So we go DF to indicate that we're in DF, and then we go in brackets. And then what column are we looking at? It's called school year. Make sure to put it in quotes, because if you don't, then it's going to produce an error. And then double equal for comparing, because this checks to see if school year is equal to whatever we want, and what we want is junior. And I'm pretty sure it's not capitalized. It is capitalized, and that's important. You want to make sure that right here you capitalize the J, or else it'll produce another error. So you have this entire statement, so it goes through the DS school year column, and it only keeps rows that have in school year junior. And then we can work within a smaller data frame to get the standard deviation. So there's a function in the pandas library called .std, and so when we apply that to the column we want, it just calculates the standard deviation of that column for us. So let's go to our data frame we just made called DF Junior, and we're looking at the hours of studying column, which here is called, actually, make sure you're doing this too. You want to save your result in a variable called standard deviation. Well, that's what the problem requires. It says it wants you to store your answer in a variable called standard deviation, and even if your code is exactly correct, if you don't store it in this variable, it's going to tell you it's wrong, because it's checking that. So yeah, you make this variable and you set it equal to DF Junior. And make sure you specify the column that you're calculating, because if you don't, then it'll just produce a list of the standard deviation of every column. So we're looking at hours studying. And then you do .std with open and close parentheses. And so when you run all of this, standard deviation will hold the standard deviation of the hours studying for just the juniors. And make sure, like I said, you indicate this column inside DF Junior before applying the function. And there you go.